Hey, how y'all doing? Sunday evening, about 6 o'clock Pacific time. We did think about coming on a little earlier on Sunday night, especially toward the fall season coming. Better for a lot of folks on the higher time zones, like on the East Coast and Central. Wolf Diddy here, and as we gather our audience to log on and turn on the Facebook streaming link here on Wolf Driver Facebook page. We're just warming up a little ditty here, jumping and jamming. Usually I wait to see the first comment face. The Wolf Driver All Dog Network. All Dog Network right here, brought to you by the Wolf Driver. Oats Damien. Yee-hoo! Cool, man. I think. That's a cool name, Ots. I'm not sure where you're from, neck of the woods, but it's all good. Normally we do a different breed. We feature a different breed night, and I do a wolf ditty, a little song about that breed. For example, last night we did the Case Hunt. The night before we did a toy German Spitz, and then we did what do we do? There's so many. But tonight we're having a special, different kind of show tonight. In terms of, we're not going to do a different breed tonight. We're skipping a night on the breed, and we're going to talk about a few things that pertain maybe to people who, folks out there, all you guys that, either you already have a dog, 2 or 3 or 4, or how many, or you have no dog, and you're thinking about, well, what breed should I get? And how do I figure that out, sensibly and reasonably, and, that it makes sense for me with everything that you have, the responsibility that and commitment that comes with having a pet and a dog and so forth. They're a little different than cats, so they require much more kind of attention, I think, than most cats do. But having said that, it's like any other pet, though. I'm sure there's things you have to take care of: your turtle and your snakes and your hamsters and cows and horses and chickens and pigs and things like that. But we're talking about dog. This is alldognetwork.com. And if you haven't visited that site, please do. Just kind of waiting on some folks to join us here to see that we're on tonight on Sunday evening. And it may be a surprise to some of you tuning in. There's just no definitely breed tonight. But what we're going to play on the background tonight, throughout the show, we're going to have, instead of just dead silence like we have now, we're going to play some kind of relaxation music, so to speak. And there's a couple things we want to talk about tonight in terms of, the kind of things that you need to be when you're choosing a breed or a pet. You're deciding, I want to get a dog. Now we're playing some what they call guitar. These are guitar meditation tracks that we produce for the Wolf Driver. You can play these for yourself. You can play them when you're sitting around with your dog and you want your dog to relax. I tested this out on my Buster, who's half Cane Corso and half Shepherd. He's about 75 pounds, 70 to 75 pound. Looks like a black police dog with brindle. And when we were recording these, I had him in the room with me, in the recording room, control room, and he was just laying on next to me here,
Wolf Dreams,
and listened to Wolf Dreams, and it kind of relaxed him. He was just kind of checking it out. You can kind of tell why. It's pretty relaxing. But tonight what we want to talk about is something different. It's kind of like a semi-dog quiz, you might say. Or a dog, hi Becky, hello, good to see you. I was just saying, a little different kind of show tonight. It's not going to be a a Wolf Diddy breed show tonight. We're skipping breeds tonight. We're going to just do something a little different for a Labor Day weekend here, which may have, hopefully be of interest to people, like I said, that either has, we're playing some meditation music in the background throughout the show, just to have some ambience. But we're gonna approach like a dog questionnaire. So if you were looking for a new dog, or your only dog, or you have a bunch of dogs and you wanted to get another one, or in the future you may, whatever, of how you determine, other than just your emotion right off the top, you see one at a shelter and you go, oh, he's so cute. Might want to think about the questionnaire involved, which would include about 10 pertinent questions that we want to kind of like go over, so just get you aware of what I'm talking about here. And call it dog breed questionnaire or whatever you want to call it. But there are things that are important. And the reason I thought about doing this is I remember in the past when we, our family got our dogs, and there was, I don't know, there was like a couple of times for sure, as a matter of fact, almost every time when it wasn't really planned. The timing of it, number one, who they were, what breed they were, why we took them, and I'm going to tell you a few stories about that. And I can think that maybe that's just our karma, that was in it for us. And this time, a little different, as we were dogless, that we found Buster. But we were looking for a new dog, but we didn't know what it was going to be. And the first thing I think you want to think about is what size dog is going to fit into your lifestyle that you would be happy with, that you feel comfortable. Now, in our case, Buster just happened to run across him, when it was time to kind of really get serious about bringing a dog home and rescuing one, either from a shelter or from a private home where they, people bring. That's what they do. They take in litters from their friends and family or referrals, and they find homes for them by advertising on the internet or what have you, word of mouth, not necessarily going to an actual shelter. So I'm gonna start with I got 4 scenarios just to run by you before we talk about the questions you want to ask yourselves. And the first thing was, well, we saw him. Oh, at least my wife did first. And he's a puppy. He's 10 weeks old. And you know as well as I, when we look at all the breeds and the puppies, that you want every one of them. The ones you see, the puppies, you go, oh, they're so cute, blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, you're grabbing that dog. Well, that's what we did with Buster, little to know. I think my wife asked, kind of like, we didn't really know the full DNA breed of him. He was just a mutt, so to speak, Ended up, when we did his DNA through the wisdompanel.com, Mars Veterinary, Mars, the division of Mars.com, we find out that he's, the vet that we took him to, he thought, oh, he's got some Doberman, he looks like a Rottweiler, he looks like a boxer, he's got a little this, a little Shepherd, brindle. Well, it ended up being a half Shepherd, 3 generations grandparents, 50%, and 50% Cane Corso, which is like an Italian Mastiff boxer style, but not look like a boxer, looks like a Mastiff. 50-50. So the vet didn't even know, My point is, he grew up to be a fairly medium to large sized dog, 70, 75 pounds. So, had we wanted a small dog, he wasn't going to be a small dog. He wasn't going to stay a small dog. So these are some of the things. But we were prepared for that because we had Rottweiler mixes before. We had big dogs. We had Springer Spaniels. And we also had some small dogs, little terrier type dogs. How did we get those? We lived up the mountains in Los Gatos. It's raining, it's cold. These 2 little dogs, 2, not 1, small, Tiny and Oliver, we call them, just uncared for. Somebody set them on the road there. People come by, leave a bowl of food, some food. Nobody would take them. They were shaggy, ugly. You knew they needed to go to the vet because they were not that good-looking dogs. And after a couple of weeks, I go, dude, we got to take these dogs and save them. They're going to die out here. The wolves will get them. Somebody's going to get them. Coyotes. So we grabbed him and took him to the vet, and for X amount of dollars, which we at the time barely could afford, I think it was $300 between the two of them to get him trimmed, cleaned, shagged, teeth cleaned, and shots, and looked over. They ended up being okay. We kept them for quite some time. Now, I wouldn't have chose these particular dogs, but nobody else and all these fairly well-to-do people up in the mountains just kept passing them by every day. They drive up and down the mountain, down to Los Gatos. And finally, my wife came home one day, and I said, I'm going to go get them. Because it was rainy, it was cold, they're out there, they're shivering. People leave them food and water. Well, how nice. You know, they think they're like feeling good about them. So that's how we got those dogs. And a couple other things. We found one, we were looking for one, and we went and found one that was somebody looking to get rid of a dog, and we took him, and he was kind of a little bit of a problem dog, another terrier type dog. But whatever the case, my point is, you know, it's so important. You don't want to be upset with what you did and then feel sorry for the dog and do things you shouldn't do and then yell at him and not treat him right. So I think it's important to give these things a lot of thought. So a dog breed quiz questionnaire is not a bad thing to go through your mind. If you're replacing an animal, if you're getting another one, adding another one to your family, all these things. So question number 1 would be something like, what size dog are you interested in? For whatever reason, your living conditions, your size of your living quarters, you know, how big you want them to be compared to you, you know, controllable, whatever. So you've got, you know, the answer could be it's not important. Or it could be tiny, up to 11 pounds, small, 12 to 22 pounds, medium, 23 to 44 pounds, large, 45 to 88 pounds, which is in fact Buster's size, and extra large, 89 to 140 pounds, which would be a, you know, Great Dane or a big Greyhound or a big Lab that was really heavy and all that. So these are some of the kind of things. What size is right for me? Before you think of breed, size. Now, how energetic do you want your new dog to be? You know, do you want it to be a sprinter, a jogger, a couch potato, or it's not important? You know, in our case, Buster's, we exercise him very well. We can walk him, we can jog him, we can run him. Hey, Dixie, people like that make me sick. If they didn't want, then they could have taken him to the shelter. Someone would have taken dogs. Dogs don't say, yeah, it's unbelievable. It blew us away. And the fact that people had the nerve to stop and give them food and water but not take them anywhere. So we finally said, no, they're going to die. It was getting cold. They're sitting there shaking every time they come out. These poor little, they're tiny. Tiny and Oliver, me and 2 guys. White little poodle kind of terriers. And we kept them for years. But we took them down, $300 at that time was a lot of money. Still a lot of money. So yeah, whoever dropped them in the first place ought to be pushed off the cliff. We know that. God bless them. So thank you for that comment. But whatever the case, so next thing, how energetic would you want your dog to be? Well, like I said, so Buster, he jogs, he sprints. He's not a couch potato, but when he relaxes, he is. He's got his little chair and his little bed, and wherever during the day, he relaxes. But he's had his exercise. He's not running around all the time. So, or it's not important the kind of energy they have. That'd be kind of question number 2. Then you want to say, well, how much time can you devote to exercising the dog every day? Well, again, 30 to 45 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, little to no time, or it's not important. Hi, Mimi. Hello. We're doing something different tonight if you just tuned in. We're not doing a dog ditty tonight or a breed. We're talking about like questions you ask yourself if you're looking for a dog, a new dog, a breed, and the kind of things you want to keep in mind and ask yourself. Because I've had a few people on here looking for a dog and they don't know what kind of dog I should get, blah, blah, blah. So we're going through the questions. I'll review them again. There's about 10 pertinent questions that you want to ask yourself and consider. We're on question number 3, which is how much time do you devote for exercise? Well, personally, I know the regimen I do with the bike springer with Buster, or even I take him walk. Like I took him out this evening. I had to work this morning. I do a music job on Sunday mornings. I play music, and I couldn't take him out early like we normally go early. So I just took him out just now, about less than an hour ago. We went out for almost a mile like we usually do, and he's feeling good. Every day. Rarely do we skip a day. And sometimes twice a day, for shorter periods of time. So just keep him moving, right? So you want to determine that. If you have little or no time for your dog's exercise, then you may not get any dog, because all dogs need exercise, and so forth. So these are the kind of things we're concerned about, and just for common sense, as being their unconditional owner and the love it needs. The fourth question would be, say, how often would you be able to play with your dog? Now, would be, do you have all day, a few times a day, maybe once a day, or it's not important? Well, can we see Buster? Sounds like he's a sweet dog. I'll get him in here in a minute, and he'll stay for a second, maybe. That's what we'll do. I'll show you Buster. But he's a great guy. So what he likes to do, he would play Frisbee all day long, or tennis ball. Take him out on the side yard, throw it, chase it, bring it back, retrieve. He's an incredible retriever. Fast. He can catch the stuff in midair, too. If you throw it and we can see it. He can catch a tennis ball in his mouth. I don't care how far. Frisbee, no brainer. There's plastic bones in the house, back and forth, throw it, come and get it. What's cool about him, if there's like both of us, my wife and I are sitting around, he'll alternate who he comes back to try to tug it out of his mouth and be the next one to throw it and play. That's his games. He loves to play, tug, get the Frisbee out of my mouth, shake the head. You've seen him do that. It's insane. And then, when we're done, we say, we're done, Buster, that's it, we're done, we're tired. We've done it enough times. He'll chill. Drop it somewhere, put it back in near where his bucket is there, his toys, and go lay down on his car next to us, whatever. So they know exactly what's going on. So how much time do you have to do those things, those little activities? I mean, if you go out for 10 minutes and retrieve a tennis ball, Frisbee, whatever you're throwing back and forth in a place where you can do it leash free, because he'll do it sprint. I mean, fast as you can do it. I have him trained, so it's sit, wait, 1, 2, and on 3 I throw it, and about 2.5 he's already ready to go. He knows we've been doing it ever since he's a puppy. And he brings it back, and he either puts it on the floor in his mouth where I can't get it out because he wants me to play that game of getting out of his teeth, and got his paws on it. Finally I say drop it, leave it. You got to be sneaky with him, and finally you get it out and do it again. And he'll do it so many times before he's tired, then he'll stop on the last one halfway back, and he'll just plop down in the middle of the grass and put it under his paws and just, he's resting. He'll rest for a few minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, and he's ready to go again. So these are the kind of things that you learn how to do with your dog, whatever games you already play and how you do it at exercise, on the side of going out and running, jogging, bike springing, whatever. Okay? So how much time do you have to play with your dog? If you check not important to any of these answers here, I don't think you should have a dog, personally. You got to do something. How affectionate would you like your dog to be? Answer 1 could be never to leave my side. Gives me some love when I get home, but keeps it to himself most of the time. I'm looking for more of a roommate than a companion. Or it's not important. You answer those questions, Again, I'm going to relate to Buster in our case, because I can just go by experience I've had with him and how that works. He would always like to be well at his side, but the thing about him, if there's guests that he knows, relatives, the kids, whatever, the grandkids, my wife, myself, whoever's home, if I'm in one room and the wife's in another, he's going to plop down kind of in the hall, equidistance between us, most of the time. Sometimes he'll be laying on the bed at her feet when she's in there, and I'm in the other room watching whatever, kickboxing. And then he may just come in and get some water, and then he'll get up on next to me and lay there for a little while. He kind of spreads it out, He knows, or you can call him and he'll come. But so he's a little bit of an everybody's person. companion and wants to make sure he's watching over everybody. He's very, we think he's phenomenal that way of how he figures that out. So what you're listening to in the background here is I produced about 100 of these meditational guitar, I call them guitar meditation ditty tracks. It's just for it to soothe your dog.
Wolf Dreams.
Called Wolf Dreams. And dogs will sit and listen to this and sometimes just go to sleep. Okay. Next question would be something like, do you have other pets? Now, I have a story for that. So yes, so it's important that my new dog can live among other animals, of course. No, but I plan on having my dog interact with other animals, so he needs to be friendly. Or, no, I'm looking for a dog who can hunt, so friendliness toward other animals isn't top priority. Or no, it's not important. Well, unfortunately, we had Emily, our cat, who's now across the Rainbow Bridge. And she was the only, we had no dogs when we came down, we had Emily. And when we got Buster, we didn't really think that through very well. We just brought him home, and right away it wasn't going to work. He wasn't going to hurt her, eat her, bite her, but she didn't feel comfortable, so she would always be under the bed or wanted to go out and stay out. Ended up, because we live out in a climate where you can stay out year-round pretty much, doesn't get that cold. We got a protective place up in the eave of the house where you don't get rain and wet when it rains. She made her little place up there. Oh no, yeah, that happened. And it was really a hard decision. Now, I'd bring her in now and then, you know, and she'd go in the back guest room and just either be on the bed or under the bed. He wouldn't bother her, but it wasn't like it was before when she was like sitting here and sitting, you know. It was really hard on me and my wife personally because we're not taking Buster back, but he's now commanding the house kind of thing. And we probably didn't do it right when we put them together and got them together. I didn't know what to do. Unfortunately, I wasn't that privy to how you do that, so that was a mistake. But later on, I would just bring her in and they got along, you know. But she now wanted to be out because that was a little habitat up there. She had a nice little bed and fed her out there, and she was happy. And she'd go out and roam around at night and always come back. So we were lucky she didn't get she was really smart, and she could climb up a tree because I grew up in the woods in Santa Cruz. She'd go straight up a redwood tree. So we weren't too concerned about the coyotes getting her, but we got lucky that way. But eventually she did pass. And she went off when it was time, and she had a lot of issues. So that's unfortunate. But we lived through that, you know, we learned. It's unfortunate. So yeah, you got to know how they're going to get along with the other animals, whether it's the same, you know, canines or cats or snakes or turtles. How trainable would you like your dog to be? Very trainable? Or you plan to teach him all the basic commands plus a lot of fun tricks? Or fairly trainable, he needs to know all the basic commands? Or not very trainable, I have a laid-back approach to rules and commands. So again, everybody knows what they know and what they're capable of if they're planning on trying to train them themselves or get a trainer, professional trainer, get it right. So again, the story about Buster, when we first got him, we took him to about 8 weeks of training, and he got all the basic stuff together. He actually passed the first, there's 3 sections of being a police dog or a service dog, where they crash a can down, like take a garbage can, throw it over when the dog's now in a small room, and see how they react, if they freak out and run the other way, or they go over and start sniffing it. Buster passed that one, but we didn't go any further with that as far as that training goes. But then we quit training him because we had a little fallout with that particular place. I don't need to go into that detail, but then we didn't train him professionally anymore. And we just drill practice, rehearsed everything we learned. I mean, we had him rolling over and that whole thing. He didn't like it because he's big. He was pretty big. Buster. But like I said, the doorbell ringing thing and the commands about basic commands. Listen. They're in front of you. They've got to be looking at you. There he goes. Someone's walking outside. Listen, sit, wait. Okay, means come on, let's go. Opening the door for people and him not going first and trying to be the commander. So how trainable? I suggest training professionally, no matter what, until you have your commands down and they are obeying. I mean, it's that simple. And you do it over and over, the same thing over and over, you know. There's certain techniques that you learn that you'd had no idea. You know, I mean, there's one I just looked up. I was looking at, just get off track just for a second on this question about training. Okay. You come home and the dog has chewed up the trash, and it's all over the floor. Somehow they got in your trash bag in your kitchen. Now you don't want to come home and yell at their name, Buster, bad dog, because they don't understand what that means. They understand you're upset, but they don't understand. All they understand is that it wasn't good that it's on the floor. They don't understand they shouldn't have chewed it up first. That's hard to conceive, but these are the kind of things you learn if you study. And we're not doing dog behavioral training here tonight. We're just talking about questions about choosing a breed and what dog's right for you. I'm not the expert on that by any means, but you can look these things up, and it's interesting the things you find. Okay, we're almost there, and then we're going to review these questions you want to ask yourself when looking for another dog. How protective do you want your new dog to be? Extremely protective? I'm looking around the clock watchdog all the time, or somewhat protective. I'm looking for a protector, but not a good guard dog. Oh, not a guard dog, but something of protection. Or little or no protection needed here. Again, referring to Buster, he's kind of like, he'll alert you when anybody's around here. He can smell, you know. This Norwegian Elkhound breed we did the other night, last night, can smell their prey for their hunter a mile away. Alerts them a mile away. Well, Buster's like that. He's out there. He can smell. He can smell stuff. He barks, whatever it is, and it's probably somebody walking their dog way down the street, a couple streets over, whatever. And he's very protective that way. He's very alert you if there's someone even nearby. I mean, these poor ladies, they got the little babies walking them in their little strollers, and he barks and wants to go run out and protect our area, his area. So that's kind of cool. It's a little annoying at times because he does it all the time. But again, then you know someone's there. Mimi, my little ones bark if someone comes to, but they also bark if a leaf falls or they see a squirrel. He barks when the crows come and land on the thing out here. Crows. They fly over, he barks. They're just protecting the deal. So that's what they do. I don't think you can train them not to do that. I guess you could, you know, work on it. But you don't want to yell at them. You don't want to yell their name. Bad this, bad that. You just want to somehow, no, stop, gentle, don't do that. I mean, you just have to work on it. But that's their nature. That's who they are. So certain things we do accept, you know, even though it may be annoying to our ears. So how protective do you want them to be, the breed? And all the breeds have these different traits in that regard, just like all the other traits. How much maintenance and grooming are you able to provide for your dog? Am I able to groom my dog 5-7 times a week, as well as frequent as a groomer? Am I able to groom my dog 3 times a week with an occasional visit to the groomer? I want a dog that's low maintenance as possible, or it's not important. Well, it's always, all these things are important. I don't know why I would say it's not important. You know, most vets they'll tell you don't shampoo your dog and all that. Maybe every other week if they need it. What I found is all the shampoos I use on Buster, even the anti-this, anti-itch, the one from the vet with all the, it's supposed to be the, I've tried them all. I've tried the ones no sulfites, the aloe, the tea oil, aloe, you name it. And he ends up, for some reason, getting a little itchy, a little red. I'm not sure why. So then what you do is you just rinse them maybe with warm water. Don't use any soap or shampoo or anything. And just, they shouldn't smell unless they have an infection or something, really. If you talk to a vet, there shouldn't be any dog odor, really, unless there's something wrong. So rinse them off. Try that. Rub them with coconut oil. Even if they have the kind of coat he has, which is, it's not open, the skin, you can't see it. Get in there and rub them with coconut oil. It's supposed to help keep it, like a conditioner, a natural coconut oil, that what they say is good. Okay, and then finally, what kind of temperature tolerance does it have to have? In other words, in your climate where you live, you live in a warm climate, so it needs to be tolerant to hot weather. You live in a cold climate, Canada, Alaska, it needs to be tolerant to cold weather. Or I live where it's warm during the summer and cold during the winter, and so it needs to be tolerant in both climates, like in the Midwest or wherever. Most places have full seasons. So you need to think. I would think about all these things. I use Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. I tried that on him too, and it kind of dries him out. They're all different. I've tried them all. So I don't know what my answer is for Buster. It's been an ongoing thing. The other thing too is, if my vet says that he should have a kibble, the one that's the Nature's Domain, actually, the one I get at Costco, natural salmon and sweet potato, he loves it. It works. But when I give him treats, like real food, like real steak or real piece of turkey, he's had his blood test done where he shouldn't be having necessarily the poultries and the thing. It's a fish, believe me, even though he's a carnivore. I give him steak. It could be the steak he reacts to. You just don't know. So you got to watch it all. But that's the story. There seems to always be some kind of a little bit of a mystery on conditioning and taking care of your pooch, that may be an issue ongoing. It becomes, hopefully, maybe, there's more people than not that have no issues about any of these things. They just getting along, the right food, dog's normal, system's normal, plumbing's normal, never has a problem, it's not allergic to anything, doesn't break out, doesn't get this, doesn't get that. But I found that not to be the case. I think that's why vets are in business. Sharon, I'm late, but I made it finally. Good evening. Good evening. Tonight, a little different thing tonight. You'll find we're not doing a Woof Diddy breed show. We're just talking about a little different thing, about taking a little questionnaire to yourself about the maybe 10 basic bullet points if you were to choose a new dog. How would you go about thinking out what breed you would get or consider finding, hopefully at a rescue? But we're going to go quickly back over those 10 slots so we understand what we were talking about. It's a little different show tonight for Labor Day weekend, taking a break on the breeds. So what we're talking about, once again, we'll take them, actually we'll go backwards from 10 back to 1 of the 10 main ones that I've discovered that were worth mentioning, I think. So it's just assume you're going to get a dog this week, or as soon as you find the right one. What is the right one? Unless you've got your mind made up. Hello from Tennessee, Nancy Spears Prater. That's good, Sharon says. We're about I grew up in Nashville. Where are you in Tennessee, Nancy? Don't mind me asking. I also lived in Whitehaven in Memphis long ago, in a house that was belonged to Tony Joe White. Tony Joe White did that song. It was a hit, Poke Salad Annie. Yes, sir. Whitehaven. It was just country then. But So the different breeds, you want to consider. Tullahoma. All right, Tullahoma. I knew some people in Tullahoma. Oh, Becky lived in Tullahoma. All right. Cool. So choosing a breed, if you considered, you've already got your mind up, I want a purebred beagle. You already know you want that beagle for what you know the characteristics. You've probably studied all the things. There's Buster. Buster, come here. Somebody wants to see you. Come here, Bus. Come here, buddy. Come on the show for a second. Come here. Can't even whistle. Come here, Bus. There's Buster, all right. You heard him. Oh, now he's out there. He's out in the back. He'll come in a minute. Sees like a crow or another dog or somebody. Come here, Bus. He's a trip. Lived in Nashville 50 years. Now in Savannah. Family lives in Memphis. There you go. What part of Nashville? I lived in Belmead and Donaldson, both. Come here, Buster. Got some company, want to see you. Come here. Here, I'm going to put him on while he's still here. Say hello to everybody. Hey, come here. No, don't worry about that. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to sit. Come here. No. Get over here. Come here. Leave it. No, I know. Leave it. Just sit here. Come here. Sit so people can see you. See? No. You're so busy. He's something still out there. He's a trip. He'll come back in a minute when he settles down. Westmead. Well, I went to Hillsboro, graduated from Hillsboro High. I've got friends that lived in Westmead. We were out on off Linwood, on Alton Road, right off Belmead. Cool, Westmead. Lots of friends there. See, Prater. That name's from. I think there were Praters in our class. Somebody. Yeah, he wants to bark at whomever's out there. You're right. Did you go to Hillwood High by chance, Nancy? This is cool to see people from places. He is cute. Yeah, let me do something real quick here. Spotlight if he gets in here. Buster, come here. What's so cool about this live deal here? So, what temperature tolerance does your dog have to have? You want to ask, what kind of climate you live in. What, Clifton? From Clifton. The Praters from Clifton, okay. That's what you went to high school then, Clifton. Am I reading that right? Yeah. Then you want to know how much maintenance and grooming has to be involved with the breed. I've known people that have had sheepdogs and drove them crazy, trying to keep them unmatted, and then, they almost stripped them down and didn't even look like sheepdogs. They got tired of dealing with the long hair and the matted hair. And those dogs we rescued, those terriers, they were all like poodle type. It was tough. We had to shave them down to keep them nice and comfortable, which we did. Didn't hurt them. They liked it. They were more comfortable, actually, especially in the summer. Yeah, we wouldn't let them get too cold, Darn people, though, that left them outside like that on the mountainside, didn't care about them. It was horrible. Shaking, trembling, rainy, icy rain up in the mountains in Los Gatos in the winter in California. Woo! I picked them up, put them in the back seat, called the vet, boom, took them downtown, got them handled. Just couldn't take it anymore. why are we passing them by? Everybody else is leaving, that kind of stuff drives you crazy, you know what I mean? And I think y'all agree, because we all have hearts. No good, that's right. That's right. Okay, and then you want to know how protective do you want this breed to be, okay? You want to know how trainable you'd like your dog to be. Some are easier and some aren't. I understand how people can do that. Innocent little creatures like that. Yeah, especially they're small little dogs like poodles, right? They aren't some big dog that can hang out and survive in the wood like maybe Buster could, or, I wish I knew who they were. I wish I knew who the people were. But chances are they aren't people that lived up there. There are people from San Jose that drove up there. So what they do when they drop off animals, they go as far as they can away and just drop them off and leave, and they feel good about it. Oh, they'll find their way somewhere and all that kind of thing. If somebody will take care of them. Sup, man? How you doing, Sean? I'm doing good. We doing fine. Just real good. So, question: how trainable do you want that dog to be if you get a new one? Do you have other pets that you're going to have to integrate into the family? How are they going to get along? That's probably the biggest one. How they're going to get along, if they're going to get along. How can you get them to get along? Are you going to have to take them both to training? Maybe. Is it another dog? Is it a cat? Is it is it some other animal that they can get to? It's not in a cage. All these things to be thinking about, when it comes to these kind of things. Get another question. How affectionate do you want this animal to be? How often would we be able to play with them? And then how often are you going to devote to exercise? Do you have time to do it right? Frankly, when my wife wanted another dog when we moved here, and it was like about 3 years, I said, no, we're both working full time, nobody's home. I'm not going to leave a dog home all day by himself. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I mean, other people can do it. If you get up early enough in the morning before you go to work, and you can exercise them enough, and they have a way to do something and get in and out, doggy doors, I don't know. For me, I wanted to be home more than not. Also hate when someone drops off a senior at a shelter and gets a younger dog. Does that happen? Oh my God. That didn't even cross my mind. Yeah, that makes you want to just, with a spoon, thank you very much. So unfair. Yeah, you see these postings on Facebook about people that have done that, dropped off an old shepherd or something, and what?
Wolf dreams.
People are, thank God we got our dogs, and maybe a couple of good people in our life. Yeah, people just can be that mean. Tell me about it. I just shake my head, it breaks my heart. You say, oh, just pray for them. Oh, they can't help it, feel sorry for them. No, lock them up. Like some of the atrocious things these people do to animals, just lock them up, throw away the key. They deserve at least the same or worse punishment than a felon. So we're just going to keep positive here. So how much time can you devote to playing with your dog and training and exercising your dog? And how energetic do you want your dog breed to be? There's a lot of people that we've talked to here that got hyper, that can't keep track of them. It's just too much. Not mean, heartless. Yeah, heartless. You got that right. Yeah, put it under the jail. I wish we could do to them what they've done to the poor. Well, yeah, everybody feels that way. Everybody feels that way. Some of the things I see, I have to like hide this post. I can't even look at it. I don't want to hear about it. See a picture of the person that did it, and you just, So let's get positive, because we know that exists. We got to just, each of us has to do our loving thing and be part of the loving crew. And we just know, there's a lot more good than there is bad in the world. It includes this kind of thing. So, I'll tell you a story about a situation, okay, out of control dogs. I had this friend of mine.
Wolf dreams.
Yes. I had this friend of mine I was working with, and he lived in an apartment down here in Dana Point. And this lady he was with, he thought he was going to marry her. But that didn't happen. She was a little cuckoo. But anyway, she went ahead and got these 2 Chipperkeys. I haven't done Chipperkeys yet as a breed. Maybe I should, if you know what they are. But there were 2 of them. And I called them Sam and Dave when I took them. Like the singers, hold on, I'm coming, Sam and Dave. Just to be silly. Black and white little Chipperkeys, okay? And they had them cooped up in a garage in an apartment that they were living in where you couldn't have pets. Never heard of those, right? Well, I'll do them tomorrow. I'll probably do them tomorrow night, Chipperkeys, okay? And they're cute, but they're really yappers, and they'll chew up wood, they'll chew up your windows, they'll chew up anything, and they're just non-stop maintenance. They don't stay calmed down, okay? I had these 2 Chipperkeys cooped up in a garage where they couldn't have pets. Well, again, somebody heard them one day and called the management and reported them. They kicked them out of the apartment, number 1. They evicted them, gave them 30 days notice, plus told them to get rid of the dogs immediately. So he brings these 2 dogs to work in a cage, and he's giving them away, asking for anybody at work who wants to adopt these dogs. And this was at the time when my wife and I didn't have the dogs, and she wanted dogs. And I called her up. I said, "Oh, there's the cutest 2 little dogs. They're called Chipperkeys. Never heard of them, but they are so cute. And you want to take them?" And she says, "Well, I don't know if we want 2, la, 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 la." So I brought them home that evening after work. And she, "Oh, they're so cute, yeah." And we have a side yard, and we need to put up a chain fence for them so they wouldn't dig the whole yard apart. We did all this stuff. And then I wasn't home. I was working full time, so was my wife. So we weren't home during the day. We'd come back home. The yard's all peed and shit everywhere, excuse my language, dug up holes. When they got out in the house, we let them in the house, they went in the house, then they started chewing on the corners of the windows. Wouldn't stop. Okay? After a month, I said that we can't do it. Just can't do it. Somebody's got to be here with these dogs. They should train them and be with them, and you can't just leave them outside in a cage all day. So get out, number 1, because they're tearing up everything. So what did I do? Took them down to this Mission Viejo shelter, checked them in, told them the situation. They need to have a home where there's a big yard, maybe another dog, with people who are around, maybe retired in San Clemente somewhere. But if you don't find them a home, let me know and I'll take them back. I'm not going to let you put them down by any means. And first of all, down here they don't do that. What they do is if they keep them that whatever is 90 days, whatever that 60 days, I don't know what the number is, I can't remember. They take them, put them in another shelter in the Los Angeles area and see if they kind of move them around before they do any euthanizing of these animals to find them homes. Well, they did find them a home. Somebody came along. They had a big lab and a big yard down in San Clemente. A retired older couple took them. They loved them, and happily ever after. I checked with them. So I was lucky. The shelter was able to find them a home pretty quick, within a week. Wasn't long, because they're very adorable. When you look at them, you go, "Oh, I want those. They're so cute." Thank goodness. Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't have let anything happen. I'd have figured out something. Okay, I had to take them to a trainer and kept them in a doggy hotel and have them trained all day, 7 days a week until they were trained, and bring them home and drill practice rehearse. But that's a story of some that I had no idea what that breed was like. Yes, thank you, Mimi. I have no idea the disposition temperament of these dogs. And they are like that. They're hyper little rascals, okay? So I didn't do my homework. I just brought them home. "Oh, we found some dogs. We'll have to go look at them here. We're helping Scott out. He's got a situation and he's going to have to blah, blah, blah." So we took him off his hands, and it was a mistake. But we didn't know it because we didn't do our homework. So that's what this breed selection questions are about, to kind of just figure it out. How energetic do you want your dog to be? And then finally, what size? You know, tiny dogs, up to 11 pounds, small 12 to 22 pounds, medium 23 to 44, large like Buster would be categorized as 45 to 80. He's like 72, and extra large over that 90 to 140 pounds. Your heart was in the right place. Yeah, thank you. Oh, definitely. Oh, when I saw him, because no one else at work they weren't able to. Most of these people lived in, we had a house, thank God, with a little yard, at least, where we knew they could be outside, It just didn't work out. Didn't work out on the nerves, didn't work, it wasn't fair to them, and they were rambunctious, and I didn't really have the money at the time to do some severe training. It's expensive. Buster, come here. Come here, buddy. Buzz, make your debut again. Come here. Where are you? Come here, buddy. Buster, come here. Buzz, come. Hey, come here. See, he's in there. Depending on space, that's one of the things. Yes, one of my father's cousin took his dog and 4 cats when he was dying from cancer. Well, he was a great Samaritan, laying down. Yeah, he's laying down all right. He's looking outside the back. Here he comes. Come here. Come here, Buzz. I leave the door open to the back so he can go out. He's back there, and there's somebody out there, somebody next door doing something. So, that's kind of what we did tonight.
Wolf dreams.
This Wolf Dream music is what we've been playing in the background. They're little guitar things. I did about 100 of these little things. It's just to calm your dog, a meditative kind of like music, like soundscapes. But on the cable, soundscapes is okay, but sometimes it's annoying. It's the synthesizer, just the same thing, I mean, it's maybe calming to some. I don't care for some of the stuff they play. I happen to like this kind of stuff where it's just one instrument. Good night. Enjoyed. Thank you, Nancy. Tennessee. It's calming.
Wolf dreams.
Me as well. Yeah, that's good. Now, where you can find this music, if you want to listen to it yourself, you just put it on your computer, on your device. I'll show you where it is. It is on... let me tell you here. If you go to wooftunes.com, and you'll find guitar meditation tracks. Then you'll see nature meditative blend tracks. Then you'll see pause meditative music tracks. There's like quite a few tracks.
Wolf dreams.
They're all different things about quiet brooks, ocean waves, rain and wind, summer meadow. I put different names to them all. Enjoy them, because you just let them play. They'll just keep wrapping around and playing. It's nice. Take a nap, relax, go to sleep too. Leave it on all night. Have it next to your dog and everything. Buster, come. Come, Bus. Here, Buster. Come here, buddy. Come. So tomorrow night we'll do the chipper keys. You get a kick out of these things. Come here, Buster. I'm gonna say goodnight. Be a good boy. Here we're gonna, as you stay right there, and you can see, everybody can see Buster Big Paws. Bus, you wanna say hello to everybody? Huh? Where's the children? Where is everybody? Do you want to go to Home Depot? Do you like to go to Home Depot in the car? Huh? They let you go to Home Depot. Remember we used to go and get your leash on the basket and go shopping for stuff? You like to do that, huh? Did you go out for breakfast this morning with Mama? You went to a restaurant with the little puppies, huh? He's a cute guy. Say hi, Bus. Say hi, Buster. You can see his Buster brindle paws. That's a good boy. See, he's a large dog. He's 75 pounds. Can you stand up? Huh? You gonna lay there? Well, you know why he's laying there. He hears the music. You like that music? You like the music? Huh? You like the music? Good boy. Come here. There, you can see him in the light now. There he is. Hey, Buzz. You want to sit? Come here. Look and sit. Look. There he is. Say goodnight, Buzz. Good night, everybody. My name's Buster Big Paws. He could still snuggle. Oh, yeah. No, he's a snuggler for sure. He wants to right next to you. He sleeps at my wife's feet. That's his thing. He puts his head over her ankles and she can't even relax and get settled because he wants to be there. Yeah, he's a very good looking guy. Thank you so much for that. So until tomorrow evening, Chipperkey night. Chipperkey. Yeah, we'll see if we can find the Chipperkeys. And if we can, we'll do a ditty on those guys. I can come up with something for Sam and Dave, the ones we had. Good night, Buster, Mimi says. Thank you. And you guys are great. Keep the fresh water, fresh food, sleepies out of their eyes. Give them lots of hugs and kisses. And until then, we'll talk to you. Spread the word about alldognetwork.com. And have a great Sunday evening. Y'all take care. Peace.